And we are live. NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition is on the air. Hello, friends. Your buddy Lou Pickney with you here. Actually, I need to fix my title. I messed up out of the gate. I've got the... Oh, my goodness. We'll have tournament coverage here in just a moment. I can start by putting today's date in there correctly. My goodness. Oh, well, at least I got the game category correct. Warsaken Blitz in particular. In our tournament edition. I did a much better job of this the other day, but we'll get it fixed and get it going here. Oh, my notification had Happy 615 Day. Celebrated the entire year. All right. So hopefully that'll at least update what I have there on the stream. So unfortunately, it's kind of a weird situation with the tournament because there are people in there that don't necessarily want to live stream their matches. And it's a tough spot. Like, I think somebody like Sean IOP, I would love to watch what Sean is doing live, but Sean made the point himself, I believe it was in general chat and Discord saying, like, hey, there's reasons for wanting to do it this way, and I certainly understand. So it creates some challenges. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out with any sort of screen sharing. I'd love to do it. I'd love to have, like, even if it was something where Soul the Cat had one player's point of view, I'd love to have the other. But so I don't know what I'm going to have initially for this, and it's a weird spot for me. I very rarely do any sort of broadcast where I don't have, like, complete control over, okay, I'm doing it this way. But with this tournament, it's a lot of fun. It's a way to celebrate not only games on Wax, but in particular tonight, Warsaken, and in particular Warsaken Blitz, the simplified version of Warsaken. I think working with a delay, I think we're stuck in 1976 with a lot of Web3 gaming. And I'm here with a video cassette of Chris Moneymaker from 2003. Point being, I think there's a ton of potential. If you're going to develop a game, you have to get the game to work correctly first, which I get, and then you worry about larger things like spectator mode. But I would love to, but even if we don't have spectator mode, I think there's a lot of potential with this. Like, to be able to look in, and if I had like a 15-minute delay, even, I think of the way that the World Series of Poker has been handled on ESPN in the past, and that's kind of what I'm getting at on that. I think that's the key thing with gaming, is be able to see it and enjoy it. So I'll go and bring the slate down. I see a silent is streaming. Is my audio not coming through? I get paranoid about these things. I'm a one-man production here. Stand by. Okay, all is well. I just wanted to make sure. One of those, it doesn't do me much good to be talking if nobody can hear me. So I think what the most logical thing to do would be to take a look at what happened earlier today. This is the second of two tournaments. So there was the earlier tournament that took place, and I'll go over those results. Then we'll take a look in at what's going on with tonight's matches. Okay. These are the matches more for what's coming up. I guess it's probably best to start with this. Moonbaz Marty against Silent. I'm not sure if Soul the Cat's going to have that one. I know that was a matchup that she mentioned. Jishi versus Orange. This is the red qualifier. You can see there where I lost to Moonbaz Marty 2-0. These matches tonight are best 3 out of 5. So you got Jishi and Orange, Silent versus Moonbaz Marty. Then on the blue side, you have DKRIN 007 against Commander. And then the matchup I mentioned moments ago, Sean IOP against David ERS. So it's a little interesting as far as the way that it's going to play out here as far as not being able to look in. It's almost like having like NFL Red Zone, but we can't show you the action. And so I think, though, this to me it's important to have tournament brackets where everybody can see them. And I think this is a great way with this setup here, with this tournament brought by Warsaken, Atomic Hub, BluMint. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I hope so. I think that for the short term, because here's the thing, the way my format is, I'm the antagonist because of the way the show is set up, my normal Thursday show, because it's, if somebody beats me, to get a spin on the Warsaken prize wheel. I've watched everything I do back, so there's been a lot that I've watched back, and the least compelling the show was that one time I went on a long winning streak. Is the point? It was the weirdest thing. I was almost cheering against myself watching video back for something that already happened. I've never had any experience quite like that. And that told me as a producer, like, okay, all right, you gotta, don't, but at the same time, I don't have to throw any matches because that doesn't normally happen. So in this case, not having necessarily expert level gameplay, as long as, it's competitive and all, I'm trying. It's not like I'm throwing anything. And so that's all part of trying to figure out what makes the most sense long-term from a streaming standpoint. So this is a bit different tonight. That's more my Thursday show. So for the moment, that's looking at what we have right here. And I'll go ahead and we'll see how smoothly I can do this. We'll pull up this one part here. And we'll bring down, I'll show you what happened earlier. You have to remember in both of these brackets, the red and the blue, this is the Europe. So you had the final four. And that one went 3-2, went 5. As I noted, it's 2 out of 3. It was, at least for the opening rounds. And then for today, best 3 out of 5. So now that's Foyer Slayer. That beat Motorcar. And then Voldemort beat Zeldrizer. I have to, with some of these names, I'm not quite sure. So if I botch it, it's not intentional. And look at this going 3 out of 5 and going to that decisive fifth. I would love to be able to pull video. And I know that right now that's just not feasible, but at some point that would be wonderful to do that. You can do recaps. A lot of this doesn't have to be live to be compelling. I think you can do some really good stuff from an editing standpoint with that. And I've got ideas, but you kind of figure out how things work first and what the demand is. And there's been a lot of demand for Blitz. People really enjoy this game. It's a lot of fun. So I was showing you from earlier today, this is a red qualifier. So Foyer Slayer advanced to the finals of that first tournament. And then you see the other end of it here. Another one that went best 3 out of 5 to the 5th and deciding match with Hun Alex 76. Again, I would be guessing on some of these pronunciations. I know that Ronald Koeman 3-0 to advance, and then 3-1 in that qualifier side championship match. And then it actually has a separate listing there for final. And this will show you Ronald Koeman won at 3-1. And so there's your winner of this is the first, as far as I know, certainly the first one that I've been part of a Warsaken Blitz tournament. And the other one going on right now. We'll check in on that. So that's just the, okay, so Silent has the matchup right now. Great. I'm actually peeking on what Silent's doing. I mean, I'm not going to show it on my stream, but I can at least see it. So that's the earlier tournament. And now you see where the designation of Europe and then North America. Start time at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, which is 11 minutes ago. So this is where we'll stick for right now. So again, these are 3 out of 5, and I don't know that it's going to show any sort of updates until we have a winner in each particular matchup. Trying to keep up with a number of different information sources here. I don't want to miss anybody's note, so if I happen to overlook you in chat, it's not intentional. but I feel like there are a couple of different places on Discord where somebody might be trying to message me. So I want to make sure I check in on that as well, seeing what other people talking about with this tournament. See if I can get information more than anything to pass along to you. So we made it to this point last Tuesday. You see there that where my mouse is indicating there, where Moonbaz Marty beat me 2 in a row. So a little bit different here for tonight, where it's 3 out of 5 for each of these. So it may be a few minutes before we get any sort of results. Okay, I found, all right, so Silent is actually streaming. Okay, great. So I'll be peeking in on that. I'll give you some updates as I see them here. So it's 8:12 Nashville time right now as I say that. So I don't know if they've already had a first match or if this is their first. Silent X Necrosis. I was wondering with the X if that's like verses or like that's the designation there, if that's something. Because I don't know, some of these names I just don't know with the pronunciation. If it's like Shelton X Benjamin in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I just simply don't know. So it looks like Silent has the live stream against Moonbaz Marty. So that's interesting to me in that Moonbaz beat me 2 straight. I don't know if I've ever beaten Moonbaz. We played, I think, twice here on the stream. Because I remember Moonbaz, the first time we played, got in late into a queue and ended up winning, I think, an epic. It's funny the things you remember, but you can tell I care because that's how I tend to remember things. You know, with this live stream. So it's interesting to me. It's interesting to see with the tournament here. People, of course, that I've never faced off against. So actually, I'm going to, as much as this may go against every instinct I have as a broadcaster, I'm going to post a link to Silent's live stream. So if anybody's wanting to watch this, it's not going to hurt my feelings if you go over to Silent stream to watch some live action. I think where there's potential, because I can understand that there are some people that, especially as the stakes get higher, as you get to the later and later rounds, I can understand why somebody wouldn't want to give away any sort of tactical advantage. But by the same token, I see just huge potential, because to me, when you can make the game itself entertaining to watch as a standalone, even for people that are never going to play it, I think you put yourself in a really good spot. I think that's where part of the entertainment value is. There are games that I watch on Twitch that I would never play probably because I don't have the skill level to do it like some of these people that play and stream. Some games make me motion sick. There are some things, I don't care if it's Web3 or not, there are some games I'm simply not going to be able to live stream. So that's, I have to work within my strengths and weaknesses just like anybody else. So like something like even like Fortnite, there's no way I would get motion sick, which is a real bummer, but there are worse problems to have in life. So it looks like right now Silent has a compromised leader taking on Moonbaz Marty. So we can play a blitz match. I wasn't quite sure how this was going to work, so I wanted to keep it as open-ended as possible. I don't want to bore the audience either, though. So let's see. So I've got all sorts of options here. But yeah, let's see. Because if I'm just pulling a tournament tree up all night, that's not going to be entertaining. I didn't want to overstep my bounds, though, and start doing live stream matches, like running counter to the tournament. So I didn't want to undermine anybody, but that's what's wanted. That would be okay. Keep playing it while the tournament's going. Okay, that'd be great. That I can do, no problem. Actually, if you give me just a second here, let me pull up the slate. I do have to do just a little bit of standby work. Again, I wanted to try to keep this as open-ended as possible as far as what I would be able to provide as a broadcaster. So let me get ultimately, playing this game is so much fun that's always, it's nice to have that as a fallback. So let me get things, I don't have the queue opened yet, so give me a second on that, please. Because the problem is that queue, I have to be careful with that. My last broadcast on Thursday, I had to close the queue And it took me more than 3 hours to get finished with it. And I love that because there's so many people wanting to play Warsaken Blitz. It's great. It's a great problem to have, but it's still something I want to keep in mind. So give me a moment on that. So that's why I'm... Okay. Okay, I may have to do this a little bit differently than I was planning. Let's see. So it's 1-1. Thank you. Yeah, they're on room. That's, yeah, exactly. That's, I don't want to provide options. So let me see here. Okay. It gets complicated because it'll take me just a moment to get situated, and then we'll go ahead and get things going with some games here. I've got to get logged in over here, so this is going to take me a moment. Oh, that would be interesting. To show they would have to be okay with it. I mean, I could do that as a browser source. I wouldn't want to get in trouble with... Problem is, me doing this on the fly, it gets very dangerous when I try to, like, I just need to get, like, to concentrate on getting logged in here. It's going to take me a minute to, okay. I have a certain pattern I normally do to set this stuff up, and when I don't, it throws me off, because, again, this isn't my strong suit. But that's part of the fun of this, is figuring out how to make it work. Okay. I think I have the wrong browser open to begin with, or what I was trying to do there. Again, I realize this brings things to a screeching halt, but it's going to have to be this way for a moment. I've got the slate. I'm going to close this. I've got to... Oh, okay, actually, I think I need to do this one. I'm glad I got the slate up. This is, The way this is set up, it's not easy for me to do on the fly, some of this. Especially when it decides now that I need to go and log into everything again. That's just how it goes. So now I have to put you on mute to go get my phone to get a two-factor authentication code. We'll get it to work. Stand by. Okay, let me take a look at what... Well, see, I've already... Okay, I see what Soul the Cat has pulled up there. Interesting. Okay. Oh my goodness, I have to click everything on here. Log me in, please. This is a rib right here. I see how Soul the Cat has it pulled up there, but I mean, really, if somebody wants to watch that match, the thing is, me doing this on the air live is not the time to do this. And that's where it gets difficult with all of this, because I can't even get logged in here in my cloud wallet. Come on. You know, it's the Murphy's Law when it comes to live streaming some of this. We'll try it again. Oh my goodness. There we go. I was able to get logged in, so that's a good start. But it's still not good. I need to be able to show the tournament what's going on with that. That's ultimately what this is. Man. Yeah, I mean, it's... Like, I really don't know that... Okay. Give me just a moment to get... I need to get some stuff moved over here. Stand by, please. Back in just like a few minutes. Okay. So we're going to make this work. And the way we're going to make this work is by playing live matches of Blitz. There's really not a good way for me at this point to do any... If I couldn't even get... I would have to get somebody's permission. I wouldn't feel right just bringing it up and just pulling it up and showing it here on stream. I've had this channel for a long time. I'm very specific about the things that I do. I have to be careful. You know, I have to be, you know, as far as... There are certain media companies I'd rather not make angry at me. So I have to use some judgment on that. Let's see. Well, I'm logged into the game, which is really the key point of this. So I think so Moon's up 2-1 on silent. Thank you for the update. So I think that's going to be the best if I get updates about what's going on in the tournament. Although I will need to I closed it out because I was trying for the. So I'm gonna bring the tournament tree up. We'll take a look at that, and then the queue's not open yet. I'll give you a heads up when that gets open. I'm not gonna be able to leave it open for long. It's gonna get, I know it's gonna happen, which is a good thing. But I need it. Okay, I think this through. So I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the brackets. I'll have an update on that. And then we'll get some matches going. Because that's going to be, that's more than anything. These are just, let's see. I've got, okay. Well, first things first, we'll go ahead and pull the slate down. If I have this pulled up correctly, it's no guarantees on that. There we go. I didn't have it pulled correctly. There's some people that are naturally really good at tech, and I'm just not one of them, so it makes this challenging. Okay, so again, we're not going to necessarily have any information here until we have a finish on either of these 4 matches that are going right now. We know the last word was 2-1, Moon leading silent. That's the only one I had information on. So you've got DKRIN 007 against Commander, Sean IOP against David ERS. Those are the matches there. We have matches up there. And so we'll provide updates on that as we get them. Okay. We'll bring up the slate. We'll open the queue here in a moment. So, fair warning on that. Yeah, I need to change the queue because I didn't plan on actually doing this tonight. It's going to be a little bit different, though. It's not going to be the prize wheel. I'm going to have something fun for giveaways here. We'll have more on that in just a moment. There we go. Okay. So exclamation point in chat. All right. Excellent. What I have to give away tonight, and this will continue on into, oh my goodness, I tried to pull up my fulfillments wallet screen. It was on an entirely different page. Which is tough because I cut myself off mid-sentence to have to play production assistant. Okay, booster packs. I have booster packs to give away. 10 in total, and between tonight and then Thursday, starting at 4 p.m. with NashvilleLou Live and Warsaken Blitz. So we're going to go with that. So Dr. Zeus, you're in the queue. I guess the next thing for me to do, I'm not actually in a break, but again, I had to kind of do this on the fly, so bear with me. All right, so what we'll do now is, Zeus, if I can get a connect code from you, or I can give you one if need be, but it works easier if I don't if I don't minimize the page with the tournament bracket that you can't see. Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Zeus gave me the code there, and so let's see if I have this, if this works correctly. Let's see. Okay, again, I got it set. The queue is open right now. There we go. I've got to find a way to do this work because it's in a different spot in 3 different scenes. I've got to switch it. It seems like in every scene. So I've got the code. And we'll get things going here against Dr. Zeus. NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. Well, of course, I'm typing this in. I hope I didn't mess up OBS Studio. I start typing a code and it's the wrong keyboard. There we go. This is the correct one right here. Oh, helps if I type the correct character there.
Warsaken.
There we go. All right. Taking on Dr. Zeus. Quadrail, hello. So I really don't have a way to show you any tournament matches at the moment, so instead we're going to have some live matches and people that beat me in lieu of the prize wheel tonight. Booster packs. So that should be fun. 2 building cards out of 8. 3 WMDs. I'm going to take a mulligan. No building cards. Those 2 match. We'll keep it. That second mulligan is awful risky. 3. Okay, well, you need 3 of a kind to make a play in Warsaken Blitz, so I don't have that. However, I can go with a pair of Freezing Rainstorms, weather cards. And then 1 more action for my turn. We'll play a Z27 Tiger, a force card. All right, so my opponent rolls a 1. No play. My turn. 4. Well, I have 2 spots open in my war zone. First, I'll play that second Z27 Tiger. Multiples of the same card only take up 1 slot. You only have 4 slots you can use there in your war zone. Yeah, hey Rexy, yeah, go ahead and get on in that queue there. Play a pair of XTTs. Love that card. It's a cool looking card there. And while I have 1 action to go, I'm not going to fill that 4th spot there in my war zone. Leave it open. In turn. So again, this is not a tournament game, but I've got the queue open for now. Playing some people here in Warsaken Blitz, and in lieu of the prize wheel tonight, giving away booster packs. Many thanks. Those were provided by Warsaken. Much appreciated. Thank you, Coleman. Many thanks. There's 3 of a kind building cards. Roll a 6. I can't get my opponent's, got caught my hand in the cookie jar there. Wait, it looks. There we go. Much better. Okay, so I rolled a 6. I keep that 1 spot open there in my war zone. I get to play 3 of a kind WMD. WMD, you can only play 1 per match in Warsaken Blitz. It takes out 2 of your opponent's territories.
Select target.
With a Fermi Energy Plants and the Golden Farmlands. I played the wrong set. Yeah, I was wondering what happened there. Like, how is that happening? Oh, 3 more. I can play 3 of a kind weather, and I'll be able to get an extra turn as a result. And now the extra turn happens right now. 3. So when you roll a die in Warsaken Blitz, you get that many actions and that many cards into your hand from your arsenal, which is what your deck is called in this game. Play a Z27 Tiger that makes 3 of a kind.
Select target.
3 of a kind force lets you take out 1 of your opponent's territories. Or a compromised leader. We'll get to that. St. Purcell Harbor. All right, 2 more actions to go. I've got 2 spots open in my war zone. And so, a few options. I should put out some intel. Let's see what kind of reaction this gets. A pair of novel platforms. Some of these cards I've never used before. I've only used a few times in Warsaken Blitz. I'm doing a lot of buying of the individuals. A lot for giveaways, and some just to add new cards and new options. Some I've owned for a while and just haven't worked into decks until now. So my opponent has 2 of a kind WMD and then a standalone force card. It's my turn. And with Blitz, it's a simplified version of Warsaken. Freezing Rainstorm. I've got 2 of them out there already. The 3rd will give me an extra turn. Or I could take 3 actions if I wanted to, but I'll do the +1 turn. 1 action to go still for this turn, and I'll play 1 Sergeant Vladimir Orlov. Extra turn. 5. I can play a second sergeant. Tough spot here, though. I've got 4 actions, and I'm going to probably forego all of them. Keep that 4th spot open. I've got a couple of two-of-a-kind options, but I'm going to opt not to use them here, and I'll end the turn. My opponent rolled a 6. So I have all 4 of my territories, but that could come to an end here very quickly. 3-of-a-kind force. That's going to take out one of my territories. The force cards, for the purposes of Warsaken Blitz, they all function the same way. Same for the other categories. WMDs, it doesn't matter what the title is as long as you get 3-of-a-kind of them and can play them from your war zone. So there's the force taking out one of my territories. I'm down to 3. 3 actions to go for my opponent for this turn. So again, this is supplemental coverage of the Warsaken Blitz tournament going on, the North America, U.S. half of it, taking place right now. After this match, we'll do a check-in on the tournament brackets. For what I'm doing tonight, people that beat me here in Blitz, give away a booster pack. All right, so a couple of, I'll be able to, actually I can win it right here. 1 territory to go for my opponent. I've already got 2 of the Sergeant Vladimirs out there. I'll play the 3rd right now.
Select target.
Taking my opponent's final remaining territory. Drighton oil fields. Out. Moon wins. Thank you, Tissues. Thank you.
Compromised.
So Moonbaz Marty beat me and now is advanced in the first round of the finals here tonight. 3-of-a-kind Igor for the win.
Select target.
When you have an opponent with a compromised leader, you need 3-of-a-kind with force cards to win the match. All right. Well, good game, Dr. Zeus. Thank you for playing. All right, so Rexy. I'm not sure how many matches. Actually, we'll connect here in just a second, Rexy. I'll go ahead and do a check-in. I'll bring the slate up for a moment so I switch scenes. Pulled up the wrong browser. That would have been confusing. Yeah, I can confirm Marty won. We'll show off the information here right now. So you see right there, Moonbaz Marty, 3-1 over Silent. So Moonbaz will face the winner between Jishy and Orange. But what happened? Question mark. I thought you couldn't play a building card until you had at least 1 card in your discard pile. So I'm not sure what happened there, but maybe I'm wrong about that or I misread it. It's probably that I misread it. So Moonbaz Marty, who beat me, has now advanced to the red qualifier championship match. And again, that'll be best of 5. And then on this side, still waiting to see winners in those matches. Okay, David ERS has advanced. Thank you. All right, so David ERS beats Sean IOP. Sean's a good player. So David ERS will face the winner of DKRIN 007 against Commander. That'll be the finals and for the blue qualifier side. And then over here, the red qualifier, we've learned Moonbaz Marty 3-1 advancing over Silent, awaiting the winner of Jishy and Orange. I know how that can be if you click on the wrong ones. That can be frustrating when that happens in a match. So, okay, so I'm going to bring up the slate. And we'll switch the scenes. Hopefully get another match going here in just a moment. I've got the queue open, at least for now. Well, I pulled up the wrong scene after all that. They both have the slate on. I picked the wrong one. That's the one. Okay, so let's see. So Rexy, if you're here, please let me know. If not, then we'll look for more competition. But do you have a code? Okay, great. I see your note there, Rexy, saying you're here. But do you have a code? Thank you. And so the way this is working, and normally I have the prize wheel, but this is a little bit impromptu. But I'm happy to do it this way. I love playing this game. Warsaken Blitz is so much fun. So I've got booster packs that were very generously donated to me. Bowman sent them on over. And so I've moved them to my fulfillments wallet and ready to give them out to people that beat me either tonight, and of course carrying over to Thursday to figure out how to work that in with the wheel. Because I'm sure we'll have, unless I somehow lose 10 matches here in one broadcast. Could happen. Otherwise, there'll be some that'll carry over to Thursday. All right, so we got the code there from Rexy. Thank you.
Warsaken.
All right, taking on Rexy. All right, 2 sets of 2, only 1 building card. I like it. And the way it works in Warsaken Blitz, you have 1 leader card, 4 territories, and then a deck of 60. That deck is called an arsenal. And your arsenal is where you draw 8 cards to start with, and you saw we had the options to take a mulligan or possibly a second mulligan. There's a discard pile that's empty at the moment. There are 3 ways you can compromise an opposing player's leader. Take out their territories, get their morale to 0, or get their arsenal to 0 cards. Intel decks. People get full hot on that at times. One of my favorite color combos is the A9 Hammerhead. I've got the blue and the green. I don't know why, but I absolutely love the way these cards look together. So with that preamble, I'll go ahead and play those. Play a pair of Private Sarah Vets, also Force cards. While those are 2 very different looking cards, they do the same thing in Warsaken Blitz. Force cards all have the same function. Makes it very easy for new players to learn the game. And we'll go with a pair of Lasting Blizzards, weather cards. And that's it for my turn. It's a 6. Join the queue. Exclamation point join. Type that in chat. It'll be the next person after Rexy to face me. So 3 sets of 2 for Rexy. A pair of weather cards, a pair of force cards, a pair of intel cards. Those little logos, emblems here in the corner, that tells you which type it is. I rolled a 1. So no 3 of a kind. I'm going to keep that 4th spot in my war zone open. I'm going to end my turn and not use that lone action. So again, it's noted for tonight, giving away booster packs to people that beat me. These are not tournament matches that you're watching. We're having live coverage of the tournament, but not everybody was, and understandably so, not everybody was comfortable with screen sharing as far as their tournament matches. I think what we'll be able to do here, hopefully sooner as opposed to later, having like an all-streamer tournament. Like everybody on camera and screen sharing, finding a way to make that work. Now, even if we just had one side of it, I think there are ways that could work. I mean, I can only lean into this so much in this role because, again, like I noted before, I'm the antagonist on this show. Because, like, you have to beat me to win a prize. So if I win too much, it's like, it's really not fun, which is the strangest thing for me to watch myself in that antagonist role without intending to be. All right, so roll of 2 there. I can't make 3 of a kind with it, but I'll play a pair of Sent Architectural Plans, Intel cards. And that'll be it for my turn. I think it's very beneficial to have tournaments or games on Wax that are outside of the Discord bubble. Like here on BluMint, this is something that search engines can see. It's a major positive in my opinion. Not such a positive for me that Rexy rolled a 6. There's 3 of a kind weather, extra turn. And 3 actions still to go for this turn. Three of a kind WMD is going to take out 2 of my territories. Four actions to go here for Rexy. Three of a kind weather, another extra turn. Three of a kind force. I'll be down to 1 territory. 2 actions to go for this turn for Rexy. Pair of weather cards. Extra turn number 2. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. This is a non-tournament match, but for people that beat me here tonight in Warsaken Blitz live on stream, giving away a booster pack. Appreciate Coleman sending me booster packs here to give away tonight for the Warsaken on stream. For the extra turn there, Rexy rolls a 1. But as you can see, the damage is done. I'm down to 1 territory. Intel card is played, and that'll end the turn. Oh, that would be interesting, Quadrell, with the different angles and setups. I think there's a ton of potential with this. So I rolled a 5 here. So I'll play the 3 of a kind WMD as to take out 2 of my opponent's territories. White Phosphorus Bomb. Or, you know, I've got to actually do this in proper order because I don't have any spots open out there. I'm going to play the Intel card. Start with this to open up a spot. It's just the 1 action here to use the Syntax Architectural Plan. It's already played 2 out there before, but I'm going to bounce 3 from my opponent's war zone.
Select target.
Take out weather.
Select target.
Take out this standalone dispatched agent.
Select target.
And we'll take out a burn notice. 4 actions to go for this turn. Now I'll play the WMD. We'll do that.
Select target.
WMD will let me take out 2 of my opponent's territories. Fort of Carmasani. Bancare Island. Out. All right, 1 action to go for this turn. I'll play that 3rd A9 Hammerhead. I've got extra in there the way it turned out, but better to have 1 too many than 1 too few.
Select target.
3 of a kind force. My opponent's going to be down to 1 territory remaining. Now up Tanya. Out. Now it's Rexy's turn. Yeah, I mean, I think it's important that, especially to make sure going into it, that anybody participating, they're going to be on stream, that, you know, everybody knows that they agree with certain things you do and don't say on stream. There's a 6. All right, luckily for me, I can play this Lasting Blizzard. Make 3 of a kind with that. So I'll get an extra turn. For the moment, I've got 5 actions to take. 3 spots open in my war zone. Play a pair of Romans prototypes. 3 actions to go for this turn. Remember, I've got an extra turn waiting for me. Play a pair of weather cards. Fire in the fields. 1 action to go. I'm going to keep my 4th spot, my war zone, open, so I won't use that. End the turn. Now the extra turn. 4. Okay, I can go 3 of a kind with a fire in the fields. Get an extra turn. Moonbaz Marty, hi. Yeah, I hate this you're feeling bad, Quadrell. I mean, we'll have other opportunities for tournaments, but I know last week you were a real trooper with it, hanging in there, those broadcasts. That's a long broadcast you did last week, too. So extra turn, make sure of that. 3 actions to go for this turn. I can go with 3 of a kind here with the intel, and I'll take out 1 each of my opponent's cards in the war zone. Bouncing 3.
Select target.
The Sandstorm.
Select target.
1 agent.
Select target.
And then this burn notice. Extra turn. 1. Okay, I wasn't trying to do a fast bump there. 2 spots open in my war zone. Play a blinding sandstorm. That'll end my turn. See, Moonbaz Marty, I saw just a little bit of your tournament matchup against Silent. So we're having some non-tournament matches here on my stream. But again, the TV producer in me has all sorts of ideas. That's true with a lot of things, though. But with this especially, because I see the potential. Because as a host, I'm playing, and I think if I were calling something where I were just a spectator, that's normally how it works with sports broadcasting. Normally, a guy shooting free throws didn't give me this percentage on the year between shots on the microphone. So it's a little bit different, but I love it because you can interact with people, and there are all sorts of options for doing this. My turn, 3. Oof. I'll play that second blinding sandstorm. 2 actions to go. Nothing makes 3 of a kind. I'm going to not use those last 2 actions, and I'll end my turn. Yes, I agree, Dr. Zeus, most definitely. It's fun. I didn't want anybody to think I was trying to upstage the tournament or otherwise, just distract from it. So 3 of a kind building cards. Fetching something back from the discard pile. 2 actions to go here. Oh, that's a tough one, Moonbaz Marty. I'm seeing what you wrote there about your laptop having a broken fan. That's not good times. So a pair of building cards for my opponent. My turn. 4. Okay, I'm going to win it right here. Before I get arrogant about it, take a moment to look. I've got 2 Sarah vets out there, private vets. We'll play the 3rd. I've got 4 actions here. This is 1 action.
Select target.
I'll take out my opponent's final remaining territory. Vast Hinterland.
Compromised.
Once your opponent has a compromised leader in Warsaken Blitz, you need 3 of a kind of a force. Luckily for me, I have 3 actions to go. 3 of a kind with Jax Nash for the win.
Select target.
Also an update. All right, good game. I've been doing, if you want to get into the queue, I've been doing codes. It's exclamation point join if you'd like to enter the queue. I'm giving away booster packs to anybody who beats me here tonight. And then what I don't give away tonight will carry over in some way on Thursday. So what I'll do here for the moment, I'll bring the slate up. And I'll do a quick glance over, because I think that's probably between matches. It makes sense to do the look-ins on the tournament. It won't take very long to give it the once-over. And some of this was done in rather impromptu fashion. All right, the queue is open, so it's exclamation point. It's doing codes. exclamation point join in chat to enter the queue. Okay. So as noted, I know Moonbaz already here in chat. So Moonbaz on to the red qualifier finals against the winner between Jishi and Orange. Over here is noted David ERS has advanced over Sean IOP. So I don't know anything about David ERS, but I know Sean IOP is a great player. So solid victory there. David ERS faces the winner of DKRIN007 and Commander. All right. So that's just a quick update on that. We'll keep providing updates here throughout the broadcast. So now what we'll go ahead and do is get ready for a next matchup here. Okay, so let me go ahead and hit. I failed to hit next. Yes, I did. There we go. There we go. So yeah, if you could please provide a code. That's the way. I know that some people do it the other way. This works out easier. The problem is sometimes I tried in the beginning where I would give out the codes, inevitably it would happen where somebody would have to step away for a minute and there's like time stands still. You're waiting for the person to get back. Then somebody like confusion abounds. And so it works much easier when I've been provide. Thank you. So my long-winded answer there, but yeah, I know I'm not the only streamer that does it this way. But, for some, it's easier to copy paste. For me, it's not with this configuration. That's just the nature of the way I have this laid out.
Warsaken.
Quick note here. Well, 2 building cards, which I'm not thrilled about early, but I do have 2 of a kind with that. It's only 1 force card out of the 8. I don't think that's a winning formula. Mulligan. Okay, 2 building cards and nothing that really matches. Double mulligan. Second mulligan means my opponent gets an extra card. But at least I get to go first. 2. Well, play a pair of Violent Tornadoes. Weather cards. So a roll of 2 for my opponent. Pair of Intel cards. My turn. 3. Okay, well I have 3 spots open in my war zone. We'll play a pair of A4 Revenge Super Carriers. What a card. 1 action to go for this turn. I'll play a Hacked Network, an Intel card. And remember with Warsaken Blitz, it's the category that matters. 3 of a kind force, it doesn't matter which force it is. It has the same function in Blitz, which makes it much easier for people that are new to Warsaken to learn how things work and not have to face just a ton of information right out of the gate. Makes it very available to new players, which I like. 3 of a kind Intel, so I imagine it's going to be my Warzone targeted. My opponent could go after my arsenal, milling my arsenal, sending 6 cards to my discard pile. But I'm guessing they'll go after what's out here. Yeah, go ahead, Rexy, yes. But yes. Yeah, feel free to go ahead and rejoin if you want to. So 3 of a kind. Zapped from my war zone. Well-timed intel attack can really fluster your opponent or certainly set them back. Then a standalone force card to end the turn. Roll to 4. Well, with a Hacked Network, I've got 1 out there, so I'll play 2 more. And I'll be able to clear out my opponent's entire war zone. Intel cards. Three options with them. I mentioned milling 6 if I want to go after my opponent's arsenal, but that's not my approach here. I could force my opponent to discard 3, which isn't the worst idea, only with 9 cards. But if you're going to do that, do it early. Earlier is better, but I'm going to go with the bounce.
Select target.
We'll get rid of the 3 that are out there. So it means the pair of guard towers.
Select target.
I hit that little green outline button that took both of them out. Be careful with that. You notice it didn't ask me for sure if I wanted to. It just did it. So use some caution with that. And then the 1 Agent Zera. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the raid. I saw something in my peripheral vision there, but thank you for the raid. I need to do something with my, to actually like update my stream to more modern standards as far as the way it reacts to raids and such. But thank you so much for the raid. I greatly appreciate it. This is the problem with being a player/host. And that's where there are people that I'm impressed. Sit back and watch them, and they have like hundreds of people talking to them, and they can somehow handle complex things at the same time. All right, so it's my opponent's turn. So you got your main laptop there, Moonbaz Marty, not the alternate one. Two actions here for my opponent. I'm going to take a quick break after this match, but just for a couple of minutes. I'll go ahead and, when I'm done with the match here as well, pull up the tournament tree. 2 of a kind intel for my opponent. 3. All right, so 2 spots open in my war zone, but the only 2 of a kind is WMD, and that's just, I feel like it's asking for trouble to do that, especially with an intel-heavy opponent. So I'm actually gonna, well, because I have 1 Revenge Super Carrier in my discard pile after the intel play. So I'm gonna bring this one back, actually. And I'm gonna end my turn with the 2 actions there. Are those last 2 actions unused? Yeah, I appreciate Dr. Zeus playing with me there in the beginning when I wasn't quite sure how this broadcast. I wanted to think, okay, we'll do this kind of open-ended style and see how it works, and I'll try and be flexible to it. Because this is what I want to do, is play the game and show people how much fun it is. And of course, Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern time, that's my main spot for playing Warsaken Blitz. I have so much fun with that. So this is a little bit extra. This is not a tournament matchup stuff here, but we'll have tournament coverage. See how Moonbaz Marty does in the next round. 4. So I rolled a 4. 4 actions I can use for this turn. I've got room there in my war zone. 3 spots or 3 slots there in my war zone. We'll start with a pair of blinding sandstorms. 2 actions to go for this turn. Go with a pair of Z27 Tigers, force cards, and that'll end my turn. My opponent rolls a 4. I do have to be careful with the queue, though. I don't want. I see. I guess we're 6 people in there now. If there's anybody else that wants to get in the queue, now would be the time to do it. Or let me know here in the next just little bit, because the problem is if I don't do this, it's going to be midnight central. I'm going to have like another 3 hours in. I love playing. I love having people that are willing to queue up and play. And 3 of a kind there takes out one of my territories, the force. So I'm down to 3 territories, 3 actions to go for my opponent. 3 of a kind intel, so that's probably going to be 1 each as far as my war zone getting targeted. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close the queue. People that are in the queue can obviously stay in there. And I may reopen it depending on how long things go with this tournament and how long these matches go. So for now, the queue will be closed. So 1 each as far as the intel cards, taking out where I had 2 of a kinds out there. My war zone's down to 1 each. An opponent with an intel heavy deck cause you a lot of trouble. 2 of a kind force cards to end the turn there for my opponent. My turn. Play a second time detonation. And I'll actually pull back the Z27 Tiger, and that'll end my turn. had to make sure I had the designation on the screen that the queue was closed, so kind of an abbreviated one tonight. Okay, it's my opponent's turn. 3 of a kind. Was that a morale play? That's one problem trying to actually pay attention to the stream and look at chat, is you miss out on what's going on in the actual matches. That's another reason why I understand some people did not want to live stream their tournament matches. Certainly understand that. So, well, nothing to match what's out there to make 3 of a kind, but I'll play the triple John Riders. I'll take out one of my opponent's territories.
Select target.
Mount up Tanya. So my opponent rolls a 4. We each have 3 territories. I'm down to 10 morale. When your morale hits 0, you get a compromised leader. Speaking of morale, look at this. 3 of a kind. That's going to take me down to 4 as far as my morale. Luckily for me, those are all -3 and then a -1 morale as far as my territories. But another 3 of a kind morale as far as the cards played by my opponent would compromise my leader. 5. All right, well, I can play a WMD here. They'll take my opponent down to 1 territory. We'll start with that.
Select target.
Bancare Island. Port of Carmersani. Two actions to go for this turn. Play a pair of tsunamis, weather cards, and that'll end my turn. But again, thanks to everybody. Thank you for the raid. Thanks to everybody who's checking this out. We've just got a live tournament going on. This is a little bit of bonus coverage here. Some player versus player matches. I've got booster packs going tonight to people that beat me here in Blitz. So we'll see how many of those are given away. And what's not given away tonight is going to find its way in one way or another into my next broadcast of Warsaken Blitz, Thursdays, 4 p.m. That's become a very popular time slot. I'm very happy with response from the Warsaken community. I rolled a 3. So I could go 3 of a kind intel. Only 9, that could really be a cruel approach there. Instead, though, I think the Romans prototypes go 3 of a kind, give my opponent a compromise. I'm down to 1 morale. So, I mean, another 3 of a kind morale from my opponent. 1 more territory taken out. I'll have a compromised leader. So that's what I'm up against at this point. 3 of a kind, let's take out the vast hinterland.
Select target.
See? Vast hinterland. Eliminated. And that's it for my turn.
Compromised.
But again, I'm down to 1 morale. And quite often in Blitz, that doesn't matter, but with an opponent that's playing a morale deck, it does. So 2 of a kind building cards, 2 of a kind force cards for my opponent. Here we go. I need 3 force cards. Let's see what we get. I don't get a 3 of a kind out of it, but I've got some options. 2 tsunamis. Play the 3rd tsunami, get an extra turn. There's the extra turn. We'll get to that in a moment. 3 of a kind. 3 actions to go. Time detonation. There we go. So I'm going to bounce 3 cards from my opponent's war zone.
Select target.
We'll get rid of both Agent Zeras.
Select target.
And 1 Lorenzo Space Center. Building card. 2 actions to go for this turn. Whoa. I'm actually going to play the 2 of a kind, control the message. Unusual to be this deep in a match, have an opponent with 9 cards. That's what I've got. Here's the extra turn. 5. I just need 3 of a kind force to win it. And I'm going to do it right here. G6 for the win.
Select target.
All right, good game. Okay, so I'm going to take about a 5-minute break here, coming up in just a moment. First of all, before I take the break, I'm going to peek in on this tournament that's going on right now. We know that Moonbaz Marty has made it to the next round. So let me see. Pulling the slate up's the right move here. And then before I switch scenes, I can go ahead and get this. And there may be a way that I could do this as a browser source. That'd be easier. I just had trouble getting it to cooperate with that the last time I tried. But it works just fine this way. Presuming I pull up the right scene, of course. That is a part of it. There we go. Okay, so we're still waiting to hear a winner between Jishy and Orange. A winner of that best 3 out of 5 will take on Moonbaz Marty, who was victorious over Silent 3-1. It's best of 5 here for the finals. And that's the top half. That's the red qualifier. And so we have a final set up here on the blue qualifier side. David ERS, we knew that. DKRIN 007. I'm not sure if those are just letters and numbers or if there's a meaning to it. But that's who's in there against David ERS is the 2 remaining on the blue qualifier side. So they're going to go best out of 5. And then Moonbaz Marty's going to face the winner of Jishy vs. Orange, best out of 5. All right, so what I'm going to do now is take, as noted, about a 5-minute break. I don't scroll down too far. So I'll bring up the slate for a moment. I'm actually going to pull up the Be Right Back screen, although I'm going to have to change the queue notification thing. Again, I know there's a better way to do this than the way I'm doing it now, but there we go. As no, the queue is closed, but Rex, you'll be up on the other side of this when I come back from break. I'll provide any tournament updates that happen between now and when I return, and then we'll get back at it here. I know some people will be ready to beat me here. Law of Averages says I'm due for some losses, so we'll see how that works out here in just a few minutes. Back with more NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition here on a Tuesday. Late Tuesday Nashville time, already Wednesday for a lot of the rest of you. Back in just a few. Stay tuned. All right, back from the break. So I've got the code here from Rexy. We'll go one-on-one here again in just a moment. All right, so now I can bring up a full-screen Warsaken. The queue is closed for now, but anybody that beats me here on the stream tonight in this next group of 5 is going to win a booster pack. So I need to just type this in.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. Taking on Rexy. Again, as noted, these are not tournament matches that I'm playing tonight, but live coverage of the tournament. As we have information, we'll pass it along. Only one building card for me, which I like. My all-camo deck sometimes paints a better picture at a glance than it really is. None of the other cards match, so we'll take a mulligan here. Okay, much better. 2 sets of 2 and just the 1 building card. Keep it. My opponent goes first. But as noted, Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, that has been a very steady time as far as being a time within like a 6-hour window, as it often turns out to be. There's a lot of people looking to play, A lot of fun with that. So we'll do that again this Thursday. Tomorrow, I've got the Blockchain Brawlers tournament that I'll be playing and covering on BluMint. So broadcasting upcoming for me. A pair of weather cards there for Rexy. 3 actions to go for this turn. But again, the way it works in Warsaken Blitz, you have 1 leader card, 4 territories, and then a deck of 60. That deck you start with, it's called your arsenal. Each player gets 8 cards drawn at random, and then you get to possibly take a mulligan to redo it, or a second mulligan if you want to try it again, and then it starts from there. You roll a die, and then you get that many cards and actions matching the number on the die. So you can have some big swings the way it works in Blitz. So my opponent's got 2-of-a-kind weather, another 2-of-a-kind weather, and then a standalone 4. So you can tell those little emblems there, those insignias, let you know the category. That's the important thing in Warsaken Blitz. 3-of-a-kind. Wide open as far as my war zone goes. With a pair of force cards, Specialist Chloe Moore. Didn't click on it properly. There we go. So down to 1 action for this turn. We'll play Ideal Conditions. And that's going to do it for my turn. So again, the plan for tonight is I'll keep going here with this live stream as long as that tournament's going on. Got Moonbaz Marty, who beat me in the tournament, also beat the online in. Victorious earlier playing that half of the brackets final here in just a little bit. So it's my opponent's turn. If you ever wonder when you're playing Blitz, if you're not sure whose turn it is, that blue dot up in that top left-hand corner, if that dot's not there, it'll be down, like, I got my overlay on top of it right now, but you see that Lou there in the bottom left? If it were my turn, the blue dot would be on me. But it just happens that's the best spot for me to stick my logo and image there without overlapping the game too much. So 1 there for my opponent. A second card for that makes a pair of forces out there, but that's it for the turn. My roll, 4. I'll play that second Ideal Conditions. 3 actions to go for this turn. 2 spots open in my war zone. Play a pair of Clever Hijacks. These are intel cards. And while I have 1 action I could take here, I'll choose not to. Keep that 4th spot in my war zone open. I'll end the turn. Oh, it was your game was telling you it was still my turn? That happens sometimes. I understand how that can be. Wow. So roll a 5 there, but nothing for my opponent. That happens sometimes. I can empathize for sure. 5. Well, let's see. Well, gonna have some extra turns coming up here. Already got 2-of-a-kind with the Ideal Conditions. Makes a 3rd, so I'll have a weather trio and an extra turn. 1 extra turn. I got 3-of-a-kind, Terrifying Storm. 2nd extra turn. 1 action still to go for this turn. And I'll play a Selfless Hero, a force card. All right, extra turn number 1. 3. Well, I'll play that second Selfless Hero. 3 sets of 2 out there. 2 actions to go. Remember, I've got the extra turn coming up. And I'm actually going to keep that 4th spot open. I'm going to sacrifice the 2 actions here. And we'll go on to the extra turn. The 2nd extra turn, I should note. 1. All right, 3 sets of 2 out there. Nothing to fill. They make 3-of-a-kind, and I'm going to keep that 4th spot in my war zone open, so I'll end the turn. Rexy's like, finally, my turn again. So neither of us have taken out any of the other's territories. No play there for my opponent. Nothing for Rexy. Wow, my turn. 5. Okay. Already got 2 of a kind with a selfless hero. This makes 3. So I'll finally take out one of Rexy's territories.
Select target.
Bancaire Island. Four actions to go for this turn. I got 3 of a kind. You got this guy staring you down. He's got the bug eyes. Brainwash. Those are intel cards. You get 3 choices in Warsaken Blitz when you play a trio of intel cards. I could go after my opponent's arsenal, mill 6, send 6 cards from the arsenal to the discard pile. I could force my opponent to discard 3, but instead bouncing 3.
Select target.
Clear choice here, we'll go 1 each.
Select target. Select target.
There we go. So instead of 3 sets of 2, it's 3 sets of 1, which is good news for me. 1 action to go for this turn. A few different ways I could go with this. I've got 2 spots open in my war zone, so I'll go and play the specialist Dexter Smith, and that'll end my turn. It's a 6. So Rexy's been loading up. I can imagine this could get interesting, even though that intel might have changed things a bit as far as the plan. As it notes up there, my opponent has 20 cards. It's very helpful the way it provides the information. Like 34 cards in my opponent's arsenal. How many cards in your arsenal is actually very important, because if it hits 0, your leader becomes compromised. Some pullbacks there from my opponent. And those cards that I took from being 2 of a kind to just 1 of a kind. There's 3 of a kind building. Gonna fetch what I just sent to the discard pile, which is probably gonna be 3 of a kind weather and an extra turn. That'd be my guess. Oh, okay, that's the end of the turn. I thought there was 1 more still to go after that. But you can see what's on deck there as far as that weather card goes. 6. Okay. So I can bring back 3 cards from my discard pile with a building, which I'll do here. We'll bring back ideal conditions. Or no. I'll bring back the selfless hero. Three actions to go for this turn. Let's go ahead and play the trio of selfless heroes here.
Select target.
This will take my opponent down to 2 territories remaining. Horde of Carmasani. That ends my turn. So my opponent's down to 2 territories. Roll of 1, but that's probably going to be that 3rd weather card played there. Fire in the fields, which will mean an extra turn for Rexy. So not a surprise there. Let's see, roll to 2. Pair of force cards played. That'll end my opponent's turn. My turn. 5. All right. We'll have a 3 of a kind WMD. Going to take out my opponent's final 2 territories.
Select target.
Ion particle cannon. Take out Mount Uptania and the vast hinterland.
Authorized.
2 actions to go for this turn. Play the dropships. That's going to end my turn. My opponent's got 21 cards up there. It's not lost on me. I know I have all my territories, but there's a lot that could happen here. It's a 6. Uh-oh. Look out. 27 cards. So 3 of a kind weather. There's an extra turn. 3 actions to go here for Rexy. Three of a kind weather. 2 extra turns. Here's the first extra turn out of 2 for Rexy. Oh, 6. Oh no. Oh, a 6. Oh my. Oh my. And Rexy still has an extra turn after this. WMD. 3 of a kind. I'm going to be down to 2 territories. Look out. Three actions to go for this turn, and then the other extra turn for Rexy. Still sitting on 24 cards up there. Intel. 3 of a kind. A roll of 1. Yeah, the double 6. What are you gonna do? My turn. 2. Okay. Pair of intel cards. Bouncing 3 from my opponent's war zone.
Select target.
These forces kicked to the curb, more specifically the discard pile. Down to 18 cards there in the arsenal for my opponent.
Select target.
Whatever that's worth.
Select target.
Send this out. That's it for my turn. 5. Three of a kind force. I'm down to 1 territory remaining. Two actions to go here for Rexy for this turn. I'm down to 1 territory. Pair of force cards. My turn. I just need 3 forces. Let's see 6. All right, gonna win it right here. I've already got 1 of these specialist Dexter Smiths out there. Play 2 more. Take out my opponent's compromised leader, finally.
Select target.
So a valiant effort there by Rexy, but I'm going to get the win. All right, good game, Rexy. Flaw. Well, you're up next, so if you could, please provide me with a room code. Give me just a moment. Do a quick check while we get that room code ready to go with the tournament. And so at this point, we're still waiting on a winner between Jishy and Orange. Unless I need to do a refresh, but this is usually pretty good about updating. Moonbaz Marty's in 3-1. Remember, it's best of 5 here, so that's why I'm saying there's going to be some time with this tournament. Over on the other side, we know that final matchup in that other bracket, David ERS against DKRIN007. So the winner of that matchup will face the winner of Moonbaz Marty against the Jishy Orange winner. So that's what we're looking at right now. Let's see. Flaw, do you have a code? I realize I don't have the queue pulled up here on this screen, but that's Again, some of this was done impromptu style. All right, thank you. Thank you, Flaw. So again, and my luck is going to run out as far as these cards go here. I'm not going to keep winning all night. It's not going to happen. And if for some reason it does, I'll still have those packs to give away for Thursday, but... All right. So I've got the code here from Flaw.
Warsaken.
All right. Oh, thank you. So I appreciate the info on that 2-2 Orange and Jishy. I guess they're going to that 5th and deciding matchup there. Soul Adrian, thank you for that info. So, quite the mix of cards, but nothing that matches up. I'll use a mulligan. Mulligan refreshes. That will work for me. Couple of pair. We'll keep it. It's very risky to use that double mulligan. Sometimes you really don't have a choice, but it's to be avoided if you can. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for that info. So my plan is to keep streaming here until the tournament reaches a conclusion, so we'll have some fun with this. Again, people that beat me here tonight, this is not my normal slot for playing Warsaken Blitz, but that's okay. We got this tournament going on, so some additional matches for people to enjoy. Because not everybody that's playing is streaming. So this is providing some options. Well, options for me, 3 of a kind, Roman's Prototype. Out of the gate, nothing in my war zone, so no brainer. Use 3 of a kind force, take out a territory.
Select target.
Okay, so my opponent is down to 3 cards. 1 action to go for me for this turn. But nothing that really matches up except for the WMD, so I'm not going to throw that out there. As weird as that might look, I'm going to leave the last action unused, and that'll end my turn. It's a 1. Alright, so my opponent played a force card. My turn. 2. Oof. Little hodgepodge, except for the WMDs that I don't really want to put out there right now. Well, I'll throw some weathers out there. That'll end my turn. Seriously, there are 3 territories and a 1. There's a 6. That's the thing with Blitz. I've seen some big comebacks happen. I think it was last Thursday's show where Rusky Music had a compromised leader. I still had all of my territories, and I lost the match. Now, it's difficult to do that, but it can happen. So it's a pair of 2 with the force cards, now a pair of 2 with the weather cards for my opponent. 3 actions to go for this turn. 2 of a kind. Second pair of force cards. 1 action to go for this turn, and that'll do it. My turn. 6. Alright, so I'll play the 3 of a kind S21Rs. Trio force cards will take out a second of my opponent's territories.
Select target.
Alright, 3 actions to go here. It's weird to have such a wide selection, but I do have the pair of D24Is. That's one risk when you have a variety of looks within the same deck of cards. You have to be a little careful not to overlook it. And I'm going to leave it with that. I'll end my turn. This is Warsaken Blitz NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. These are not tournament matches, but people that beat me here tonight in Warsaken Blitz will win a booster pack. Got booster pack giveaways, and we'll have updates on the tournament. After this match, we'll take another look at the tournament tree and see how that's looking. Wait to see who Moonbaz Marty's going to take on. 4 actions to go here for my opponent. Yeah, sorry, Lucida. Right now I've got the queue closed. I have to be careful with the queue. There's a pair of WMDs, and that's going to do it for my opponent's turn. 4 sets of 2 out there in the war zone. 2. See, now here's the downside of me just kind of randomly throwing out weather cards like I did before. Because instead of being able to play 2 of a kind force, I would have to pull a weather card up or fill my 4th spot. And I really don't want to do any of that, so I'm not going to. I'll end my turn. So normally I don't play it that way with the weathers or anything for that matter, just scatter shot. But I decided to try it here to see what would happen. This game is so new that I'm not sure that I've really explored all the different strategies. But some stuff makes sense, like stick with things that have 2 of a kind if you can. Jishi moves forward. Thank you, Dr. Zeus, for the update. So Jishi is going to take on Moonbaz Marty. Best 3 out of 5. And the winner of that advances to the championship match. Remember, Moonbaz Marty beat me in the tournament last week. 3 of a kind. Private Sarah Yvette. Those are force cards. Takes out one of my territories. I'm down to 3. Appreciate the update. So there are only 4 people left in this late tournament. One action to go here for my opponent. We'll go unused as Flaw keeps that 4th spot open in the war zone. My turn. 3. Well, worked out in the end with the W1 MGs, if I choose to use them here. Here's the problem. If I use this now, and then I get a trio of WMDs for the next round, it will essentially have been a waste of these force cards. But you can only wait so long in Warsaken Blitz. So I'm going to go ahead and use the 3 tanks here.
Select target.
I'll still be able to use 3 of a kind WMD if that's what I end up getting, but it would just make this kind of a unnecessary effort. But you don't know if you're going to get that 3rd WMD. My opponent's turn. Within that arsenal of 35, there are 2 more of those WMDs to match the phosphorus bomb. There are 2 more to match the captured leader. But the question is, how long do you wait for those 35 to show up, or the 4 within the 35? When those might show up, it's hard to know. There's a 6. The complexion of this match could shift dramatically here. Oh no, Flaw saying you can't see the cards, they're very difficult. Oh no. You rolled a 6, yes. Yes, you rolled a 6. What you might want to try doing is refreshing, I don't know if you're using the app or a browser. 3 of a kind weather, so you've got an extra turn. Yeah, I would recommend a refresh if you can. F5 it. The game has performed well for me tonight. Three of a kind force. I realize I might have just jinxed myself with it, but... 2 actions to go here for my opponent. I'm down to 2 as far as my territories remaining. Just 1 territory over there for Flaw. And 2 actions to go for this turn. Three of a kind action. I'm down to 1 territory. So a similar quandary to what I was talking about before, the WMDs. Right there, if you're waiting for that 3rd to show up, how long do you wait? So in that case, Flaw went ahead and took out my 3rd territory. I'm down to 1, just like Flaw is. 1 action to go here for this turn. So you see where certain situations where it matters which order you play cards in. Like you wouldn't want to play the Force and then play the WMD. The better play would be if you had that, and that's a more obvious type. But you definitely want to think about it when it comes to what you're going to do and when you do it here in Warsaken Blitz. Oh no, Flaw says, does it work seeing the dice in the stream? Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know what to tell you on that. You have 1 action to go. You have an extra turn. You rolled a 4. On the extra turn. Okay, so they're still playing David and DRKIN. Okay. 3 of a kind, WMD.
Compromised.
If my opponent has 3 of a kind Force, I'm going to lose the match here. 3 actions to go for Flaw. Pair of weather cards. A 3rd weather card would mean an extra turn. But that's going to do it for this turn. So 2 of a kind Force, 2 of a kind weather staring me down. 5. Okay, I'll get an extra turn out of it with a cloud cover. Got the 1 out there already. Here are the remaining 2. Want that extra turn. 3 actions to go for this turn. I've got 2 spots open in my war zone. And the WMD in this case is like a weaker version of a Force because they can't take out my opponent's leader. So I would have to use that first as opposed to then playing a Force if I were to have that opportunity. 1 more action to go for this turn. And I'm going to not use this last action. Extra turn. Let's see what I roll. 2. Oh my. Agent Rico. That's a cool looking card right there. That's it for my turn. This is probably going to do it for me here. Flaw just needs 3 of a kind Force to beat me. There's the 3. Yeah, I've got the queue is closed right now. Sorry, I had to limit it. If I leave the queue open, it's been like 4 hours to get through everybody. I'm not careful. I might reopen it at some point. I know people wait a while in the queue, and I want to make sure I respect that. Speaking of respect that 3 of a kind Force to win it. That's the match. Good game.
Defeated.
All right. Good game. So Flaw victorious. You're going to get a booster pack. Oh, I screwed it up. All this time I've managed to pull the slate up right every time, and then I get in a hurry, and it doesn't matter. It's a webcast, but it matters to me because that's the rules of broadcasting and all have been drilled into my head. Years in the business. Okay. So there's a look at the... As you see there, Jishi against Moonbaz Marty. They're going best out of 5. David ERS against DKRIN 007. Those are the 2 matches that are remaining here in these qualifiers that have now made it to the finals. And so the blue side and the red in this late tournament. There was an earlier tournament today primarily for people in Europe, but really anywhere, but where the hours are more convenient for many people in Europe, certainly. and this more for United States. But again, this is a worldwide game. All right, so for now we wait as seeing on who's going to win in those two remaining semifinal matches. Really, they're qualified the two brackets. Who's going to advance to that final? So we'll find out here in just a moment. I'll actually leave this up on the screen here. All right. So I'm going to hit next just to go ahead and get it ready. But, okay. Make sure, Flaw, that I've got the proper... I don't know that I've got a wax address written down for you here. I'm sure I've got it in here somewhere. It's just, I have a list that I've been starting to put together. I don't think I see it up here. Most importantly, I got to make sure it goes to the right person when I send something out. So stand by, please. Was it the Blackbird? Is that the one? And then I scroll down so I can't see it. Oh yeah, so Soul Adrian, we'll get to you in just one moment. And you are Blackbird. I want to make sure it's, again, so I'm sending a booster pack your way. It'll come from my Fulfillments wallet. These were given to me to give away here on stream tonight, and then these will carry over to Thursday in some form. We'll figure out something for Thursday. Thursday, 4 p.m., the normal slot for me. My Warsaken Blitz, but it's fun to play this game anytime. And this is kind of a supplementary extra coverage to go along with the tournament. And we're keeping an eye on over on BluMint.com. So I'm going to put NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. And so, Flaw, I'm sending that to you right now. It's a booster pack. Congratulations on the win. We'll get this next match started here in just a moment. All right, so Moon versus Jishi has started. All right. So go ahead and switch over here to the primary Warsaken scene. And we'll go ahead and get this code typed in here in just a moment. We'll be going with our next match.
Warsaken.
You're welcome. Thank you for playing. I appreciate everybody taking the time to play here tonight. So much going on this week with Game Fest. Having a lot of fun with this. Like Warsaken Blitz. I mean, what do you use a mulligan? Nothing matches. I've got the one building card. There's some risk with it since it's a fresh set of 8. And if that doesn't work, your options get considerably more limited. All right, that'll work. It's got a pair. It's so risky to use the second mulligan, so we'll keep this. And my opponent will go first. It's a 1. Well, good news, bad news. Good news is you get to go first. The bad news is you rolled a 1. It's a weather card. My turn. 2. Play a pair of Sergeant Vladimir Orlovs. That's it for my turn. Those are force cards. 6. I'm probably going to take about a 5-minute break after this match. Well, interesting morale cards out there. 2-of-a-kind weather, 2-of-a-kind morale. Morale goes after, I mean, it's down there in the corner at 19. It's dark now, but I'll show you. When your morale hits 0, your leader becomes compromised if that happens in a match. I rolled a 6. All right, so we'll go 3-of-a-kind with the intel. Go 1 each as far as the 3 sets out there in my opponent's war zone. I have the option. I could make my opponent discard 3. I could mill 6 cards from my opponent's arsenal into the war zone, but balancing 3, the clear play here.
Select target.
And go 1 of each.
Select target. Select target.
So 3 actions to go for me here for this turn. Play a pair of XTTs. 2 spots in my war zone are open. 1 action to go for this turn. Play a freezing rainstorm. And that'll end my turn. It's my turn. Roll to 2. But it's a pair of weather cards to match with that third one I've got out there already in my war zone. This will be an extra turn for me. There's the extra turn. Here's the roll. 2. Well, I can at least make 3 of a kind with the XTT. And this will take out one of my opponent's territories.
Select target.
Bandcare Island. One action to go for this turn. We'll play a Jackal Air Base, a building card. Building cards let you go back into your discard pile and either return 3 to your hand or choose 6 to be shuffled into your arsenal. That's very convenient, that last part. Somebody's targeting your arsenal with intel cards. My opponent rolled a 6. Two of a kind with the building cards. 4 actions to go. Pair of weathers. Then a pullback to open a spot up with 1 action to go for this turn. There's that morale off the board. My turn. 6. Play that second Jackal Air Base. 2 spots open in my war zone. Play a pair of tsunamis. And while I don't like to just give up on 3 actions here, I think that's the best course of action, as it turns out. Keep that 4th spot in my war zone open. And that might not be the right play. I don't know. But in my experience, that tends to be the way to do it. So on the turn here. A roll of 1 for my opponent. Three of a kind weather means an extra turn. Here's the roll for the extra turn. 2. Two of a kind WMD. My turn. 2. I can play a building card to bring back 3 from my discard pile into my hand. I'll bring back the XTTs. 1 action to go for this turn. Here I'm going to play Ideal Conditions, weather card, and that's going to end my turn. This is NashvilleLou Live, Tournament Edition, playing Warsaken Blitz. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Having a lot of fun here playing Blitz. These are not tournament matches that I'm playing here tonight. These are some extra matches, some demonstrations of Blitz. 3 of a kind. WMD is going to be a demonstration of 2 of my territories getting taken out. 5 actions to go here for my opponent. 3 of a kind morale. I've got 13 morale right now. This would take me down to 7. There it is, 7. 2 actions to go for this turn for my opponent. All right, thank you for the update. Excuse me. Thank you for the update there, Tissues. So it's Jishi 1, Moon 0, and they're best of 5. All right. So a number of options here. I think the first move is going to be playing a pair of weather cards, get the extra turn. We'll get to the extra turn in a moment. 2 actions to go for this turn. Play a Sergeant Vladimir.
Select target.
My opponent's going to be down to 2 territories. Thank you for the update. Okay, 1 action to go here. For this turn, we've got the extra turn here in a moment. Play an XTT. Extra turn, here we go. 1. XTT. And that's going to end my turn. My opponent rolls a 5. I have 7 morale left. So 3 of a kind morale would have me down to 1, but I wouldn't have a compromised leader yet. Three of a kind weather. That's going to mean an extra turn for my opponent. Two actions remain for this turn. A pair of morale cards. Here's the extra turn. 2. No play. My turn. 6. Okay, I'm going to win the match right here. Got 6 actions. Got room open there in my war zone. We're going to go 3 of a kind. EMP discharge. WMD. Going to take out the last 2 territories.
Select target.
Hey, thank you for the raid, Novo Pangea. Thank you, thank you. You're just in time to see me win. I wish I had a better setup for the way it recognizes and thanks people for raids and follows. Many thanks for the raid. So that's going to be... WMD takes my opponent down to 0 territories. Compromise leader. 3 actions to go for this turn. Going to play the XTT here for the win.
Select target.
Compromise leader. Thank you for the follow. For the moment... go ahead and hit next as well. For the moment, I've got the queue closed. I might reopen it, but I just... Problem, though, is if I do that, then it's like it gets 6 deep very fast, and then it might go longer than what I had intended or what really makes sense for this particular format. All right, for the moment, I pull the slate up. I'm going to take a break here in a moment, but I know we just got the people that came in for the raid, and... have a little bit of, got a lot of latitude really as far as the way we do this. So I'll go ahead and now pull up the tournament tree. So we're keeping track of this late tournament. There was one earlier, I started to say earlier today, but today and tomorrow and yesterday. In this world, those thoughts kind of run together a bit. But earlier there was a tournament, and this is the later one, more for the US late audience. And so we're down to 4 Moonbaz Marty against Jishy. Last words 1-0. Jishy had the lead. It's best 3 out of 5. So the winner of that out of the red qualifier, keep in mind, Moonbaz Marty beat me 2-0. So if Moonbaz can rally against Jishy, whoever wins out of that, either way, will advance to the final against the winner between David ERS and DKRIN007. This is where I wish very much that there'd be a way to do some sort of live look-ins, but it's not set up like that. So we're doing the best with this, making the best of it, having some fun playing some player versus player matches here with Warsaken Blitz, and keeping an eye on this tournament tree as it does update for me when the information is made available. And even better here in chat, and a lot of helpful people here tonight as far as providing updates and the such. So I'm going to take about a 5-minute break. I'm going to leave the tournament tree up here, but I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the raid and the comments. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, and there's a lot going on this week with Game Fest, but I've got ideas as well for Novo Pangea. A lot of fun stuff here within the world of Wax. But here with Warsaken Blitz and Atomic Hub's Game Fest that's going on here. So we're down to 4. We'll see if Moonbaz Marty, who got past me, if Moonbaz can rally against Jishy, or if it's me Jishy going to the finals. We know that Jishy leads 1-0 at last word. So take about a 5-minute break here. Be back on the other side of that. I'm just going to leave the tournament tree up here. Just going to mute my microphone, do some neck stretching exercises. Get another bottle of water, and we'll get back out here with some more Warsaken Blitz NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. Stay tuned. Okay, I'll go ahead and bring it back from break here. Thank you for the follow. Cyberus Novo, thank you. Thank you so much to everybody with the raids. I appreciate it greatly. This is Warsaken Blitz NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. So I was pointing out there with a mouse gesture there on screen a moment ago. David ERS has advanced to the final and went 5 against DKRIN007, but David ERS is into the final round. We'll have more on that in a moment. So at last word, Jishy had a 1-0 lead on, or did that get updated? It's 1-1 now. I see where Tissues were at 1-1. So if that's correct, if I'm reading that accurately, then it's going to come down to the next 3 matches between Jishy and Moonbaz Marty, if they are in fact tied at 1. They may be further ahead than that at this point. I'm not sure. As noted, Moonbaz Marty beat me. Moonbaz had to play a first round game. I had luck of the draw with I had a tough opponent. DeJohn Jay's a good player. I was lucky to get past that round. And then Marty victorious, and then third battle is underway. Thank you for that, Tissues. All right. So I'll bring the slate up for just a moment, and that's going to give me an opportunity to switch over and get ready to enter the code, and we'll play some more Warsaken Blitz. These are non-tournament matches, but some supplementary, and it's for people that beat me here tonight. It's a giving away booster pack. So again, I've got the queue closed for now because I'm not sure how long the broadcast. I mean, I'll keep it going here, but as far as how much with me playing, my neck is starting to act up on me. Getting old's not any fun, in a related note. But I'll go ahead and type in now to chat the code. All right.
Warsaken.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it with the raids, the follows, everybody taking the time to check out this tournament coverage, and this, of course, being a bonus match, as it were. But could make a note here in I keep track of who I play and the result, just so I have it written down here in front of me, because maybe it's fresh in my mind now, but give it a week and maybe it'll be a little different. So, okay. I don't like this particular layout because I have 2 building cards that don't match. But do the pair of weathers, we'll keep it. It's risky. That mulligan, sometimes it works out, but then sometimes you end up with something worse than what you had. And then you've got a tough decision. Do you take the second mulligan and give your opponent an extra card? Roll a 2. So with the tournament, I just had an update there before we got started with this. Moonbaz Marty is tied with Jishi at 1 apiece. And then, was it David ERS? Is that correct? That was victorious from the other side? An update on that when this match is over. Play a pair of Blinding Sandstorms, weather cards. 2 weather cards opposite me, I should note, in my opponent's War Zone. And then I'll play a Cheetah Z series, and that'll end my turn. Yeah, sorry, I had to close the queue. I'm going to keep the stream going here for the tournament, but I don't think beyond these 2 matches, like I had to take another muscle relaxer here, kind of hitting that point. Man. So that's confirmed from Mama Moof, and thank you. Thank you. Having fun here. How are you? So a pullback there. Interesting move. Open up space there with that last pullback. 3 sets of 2 opposite me. My turn. 4. Well, I've got a second Cheetah Z series to play. If I hit the right button, that is. 2 spots open in my War Zone, 3 actions to go. We'll go with a pair of Romans prototypes. Those are force cards. 1 action to go for this turn. Nothing that makes 3 of a kind. Nothing that... These building cards, there's a reason I make mention of how many I have when I start. Because early on, they can get in the way and just gum up the works, as it were. So I'm going to not use that last action. I'll end my turn. Oh, nice. So you've got an elite pack, Mama Moof, and you do for the event coming up, Rumble in 45 minutes. Is that over on the Discord, on the Warsaken Discord? So, 3 of a kind for my opponent with force cards. I'll take out one of my territories, down to 3. The Rumble channel. Very good. Well, that's part of the fun with that. So, and again, I plan to keep this stream going until the tournament's over to let everybody know who the winner is, but we'll have this match and 1 more, and that's going to be it as far as for tonight. And so, I have some interesting additional opportunities for this Thursday at 4, those booster packs. I'll still have a bunch of those to give away. 3 actions to go. I can go 2 of a kind here, the blind, or 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind to match the 2 out there for the Blinding Sandstorms. That'll give me an extra turn. 2 actions to go here. I've got 2 Romans out there already. Let's make it 3. And this will take out one of my opponent's territories.
Select target.
Bancaire Island. All right, 1 action to go. I've got 3 slots open there in my War Zone. And I'll play a guard tower. Extra turn. 6. Oh, that's interesting. So I've got 3 of a kind, really 4 of a kind with the barracks. So I can go back and either forces or weathers. So I've got that guard tower sitting out there, but I backed the wrong horse, as it were. But it'll turn out fine. Play 3 of a kind barracks. And we're going to bring back the Romans. 3 actions to go. Do it again. Take out a second territory.
Select target.
That sounds great, Mom Moof, and feel free, just let it be known, please, as far as when you get that going. Do my best to direct people that way. Porter Carmersani. But this has turned out a lot better than I wasn't. Like, it's rare that I go on the air and I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I legitimately don't know. But with this, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to do anything to overshadow the tournament. I wanted that to be the focus. But with that, here's 3 of a kind. Here's a focus for me. WMD's going to take me down to 1 territory. But I really believe that people playing Blitz, having fun with it, is the best advertisement you can have for this game because it's so much fun. It's fun to live stream. You can be social. It's not like you're on a tight clock as far as your time goes, although you do want to keep it moving in a timely manner. Speaking of moving in a timely manner, I'm down to 0 territories. Going to compromise leader. Just going to take one more 3 of a kind force for my opponent to beat me. My turn. 2. Well, play the white phosphorus bombs, but I only play 2 of them, and that's going to end my turn. So just all my opponent needs is 3 of a kind force here to beat me. There's 2 sets of 2 forces out there in the war zone. It's a roll of 2. All it's going to take is one of those matching up 3 of a kind with what's out there in the war zone. A pair of intel cards. I was not expecting to get another roll here, but I'll take it. Let's see what I have. 3. Okay. Well. So you have to think about it for a second. Rolled a 3 there. I've got the lasting blizzard. So I'll get an extra turn out of it. If I would have played the WMD immediately, then I would have been 1 shy on the weather. So you have to think it through sometimes at this point in the match. 3 of a kind lasting blizzard. Extra turn. Let's see if I can get something strong enough to let me win it here. Let's find out. 4. So there's a chance. It's going to work. I'm going to have to come back and win if I do this right. Okay. All right. So I've got 2 WD. Yeah, I have 2 WMDs out there. With the white phosphorus bomb, I'll play a 3rd.
Select target.
Mount up Tanya. Vast Hinterland.
Compromised.
Opponent has 0 territories remaining. I got 3 actions to go for this turn. The Hammerheads for the win.
Select target.
That's going to do it. All right, good game. So we'll get this next match going here in just a moment. So this will actually work out pretty well timing-wise, Mama Moofin, as far as with your event coming up. I do plan on keeping the stream going until we have a winner. Okay. There, this time I remember to bring the slate up first. One of those things that doesn't really matter. I mean, to me it does. I want it to be a clean broadcast. It's the goal. All right. And then I brought, after all that, I brought the wrong scene. There we go. I didn't have the slate up on it anyway. Oh, update. Thank you. Oh, wow. So, okay. So Moonbaz. Marty, hear my voice starting to... Moonbaz Marty has a 2-1 lead now on Jishi. And I know it doesn't show it here, but it's information getting in chat there from Tissues. Thank you for that. And as we noted before, David ERS is into the finals. So we're going to go ahead and have this match here against Ivanov 007. And then that's going to be the last match that I'm going to play on this broadcast. And I'll keep the broadcast going until we have a winner. I may take a break. I may just have music playing for a while, but I'll make sure we get a winner here before it's all said and done. So that's the plan for this. Bring up the slate again. Switch back to the game. Bring it to a full screen. Make sure I have the right scene brought up, which I do. Now I can type in the code. And so a little different tonight than what I've normally done with the prize wheel. I've booster packs to give out. I've just had a lot of luck tonight.
Warsaken.
Right, here we go. Taking on Ivanov. Okay. All right. 2 building cards, but they match. Got a pair that match there with the intel. I'll keep it. There's a lot of risk if you use that mulligan. 6. Well, we'll go with 3 sets of 2. Agent Zera. 4 actions to go. Pair of freezing rainstorms. Weather cards. Icy. 2 actions to go. Pair of stolen blueprints. Remember, in Warsaken Blitz, you need 3 of a kind. Or it's matching cards in your war zone to activate them. Got your leader, your 4 territories, and your arsenal that starts with 60 cards. And both players get 8 cards from their respective arsenals to begin a match of Warsaken Blitz. So I roll a 4 for my opponent. Oh, really, Mama Moofin? That's interesting. May have helped Moonbass get his deck together way back when. That's great. So 2 sets of 2 for my opponent. Between the pair of force cards and the pair of weather cards, my turn. 1. Oh, not only 1, but 1 that doesn't match. I'm not going to use this action. I'll keep that 4th spot in my war zone open, and I'll end my turn. So again, this is going to be the last player versus player match, or really any match for this broadcast for me, but we'll keep the broadcast going until we have a winner determined in the Warsaken Blitz tournament going on over on BluMint. Part of what Atomic Hub is doing this week with Game Fest. A lot of fun with that. There's 3 of a kind weather. That means an extra turn for my opponent. 1 action to go still for this turn. It's a roll of 3. So my opponent has 2 force cards out there and then a standalone weather. That standalone turned into 3 of a kind, so there'll be another extra turn. Still 1 action to go for this turn. Weather card. You see the power when you can chain together weather cards in Warsaken Blitz. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Mama Boofin, you've been incredibly generous, and I hope that everybody recognizes that. This whole community has been wonderful. I've had nothing but positive experiences with the people in the Warsaken Blitz community. So 3 of a kind with the force cards takes out my first territory there of the 4 to drop, so I'm down to 3. 3 actions to go. Make that 2 territories. Oh, those are weather cards, so, excuse me, extra turn. There's 3 of a kind force. That will take me down to 2 territories. Hey, Delvison, hello. Queue is closed, unfortunately. This is the last match here for this broadcast. I'm going to have just keep an eye on the tournament after this, and that's going to be the end of it as far as the matches go. So 2 sets of 2 for my opponent. A pair of force cards, a pair of weather cards. My turn. 1. Ugh. Just brutal. End turn. Oh, wow. Congratulations to John J. Across that 100,000 XP line. Excellent. So A force card played there, and that's it for the turn for my opponent. My turn. 3. I mean, it's tempting to play the WMD here, but this intel, this is primed to get hit with an intel. I think that's the play. Bounce 3.
Select target.
1 each. Agent Nika Devon.
Select target.
Violent Tornado.
Select target.
Is that Akan Rin? That one. That's it for my turn. AK, thank you. I want to make sure I get the pronunciations correct. That's important. It's always a challenge, too, with sports broadcasts. Like, the lower the level, the harder it is to get information. Like, high schools, sometimes it's... Like, I have to go into my, like, news producer stealth mode to figure stuff out. There's building cards played by my opponent, and those building cards will bring back 3 cards from the discard pile to be used again. There's 3 brought back there. 3 of a kind force. I'll be down to 1 territory. My turn. Okay, I rolled a 4. I'll play the WMD now. And I'll have 1 action to go.
Select target.
WMD takes out 2 of your opponent's territories. You can only play at most 1 per match in Warsaken Blitz. Ruins of the Brotherland. And the Fermi energy plants. It can be a challenge. That's part of it with broadcasting. You just have to do your best to get it right. So we'll play Agent Zero. I've got 2 out there in my war zone. 1 action to go for this turn, so it works out quite nicely.
Select target.
So my opponent's going to be down to 1 territory. And that will end my turn. Yeah, it's funny with when you have names that are unusual, that can be challenging to find. Like, we get the personalized names of the store. Like, there's not like a whole lot of Lou's sitting up there, so I can imagine less common names even more so with that. Okay, I can play an intel here. An intel can really cause your opponent some headaches with an intel. So I'll go ahead with that. Already had 2 out there, that's the 3rd. And I'll choose to bounce 3 cards. I could go after my opponent's arsenal. I could mill 6 cards, but that's not going to be the move for me here.
Select target.
So we'll go 1 of each.
Select target. Select target.
Well, there's definitely some positives to having a more unique name. Like, if you're looking your name up somewhere, you'd be more likely to find yourself in the listings versus somebody else. Okay, so 1 action to go here. I'll play a Tsunami, and that will end this turn. It's my opponent's turn. We're both down to our vast hinterland. 1 territory each. 3 cards here for my opponent. And roll 3. There's 3 of a kind force. I'm going to have a compromised leader.
Compromised.
All right, here we go. 6. Okay. I'm going to have 2 extra turns out of this. Freezing Rainstorm. Extra turn number 1. 5 actions to go for this turn. There are Tsunamis to match the 3rd on the board. Extra turn number 2. 3 actions to go here. Play a pair of amplified uplink facilities, building cards. One action to go here, and I'll throw out an assassination attempt, intel card. Extra turn. 4. Play a pair of Sergeant Vlads. 2 actions to go here. Play that second assassination attempt. Or I'll try to. And I'll end my turn there. Extra turn number 2. 2. Well. Nothing to make 3 of a kind. I'll end my turn. It's just going to take 3 of a kind of a force for my opponent to beat me. Roll a 5. There it is, 3 of a kind. That's the match. All right, good game. So, congratulations. 5-0, 007. All right. Yes, hello to the Warsaken is here. Hello. So I want to make sure I have enough that I have the correct wax address for you. I know sometimes that the address listed in game isn't necessarily where players want their prizes to go. We've got a booster pack to give away here. That's great that you're be able to check out the streams. I didn't want to do anything that was going to overshadow the tournament, but I think these one-off games here have been a nice supplement. Normally, I don't go into broadcast without having some sort of plan. With, okay, this is me trying new things in broadcasting. I have 28 years of calling like traditional sports. I can try some other things here. Nobody's going to yell at me if the Chiron isn't right, which happened in television. A lot of yelling. Anyway, this is much more fun, so I can't really complain about that. So I'm going to bring down or I should say I'm switching scenes. I'm going to bring back the tournament tree Moonbaz Marty's onto the finals. Okay. Let me see, Ivan, let's see. That is the right. Okay, good. That is the correct one. All right. Well, I'm going to send that to you first. And that's okay. So if I'm doing this correctly, you'll see the tournament tree. And I'm going to go ahead and get this over to Ivanov. That booster pack. So as noted, I'm going to have to keep things going here with the stroke. Actually, you know what I can do? Well, let me do first things first. We'll get this sent out. We'll get the championship match information pulled up here in just a second. So I'm double checking that is the right Ivanov123.gm. Okay. So many thanks to the Warsaken being so generous as far as providing things for giveaways. A lot of excitement with this tournament going on. And congrats to Moonbaz Marty beat me, so congrats on making it to the finals. Let me get this transferred. And the news producer in me starts wanting to do 5 things at once, because that's when you're boothing a newscast, sometimes you legitimately have to do that. Well, I hope so I can see what I'm typing. Congrats from NashvilleLou. Live Tournament Edition. So these have been non-tournament matches, but I think it's been a fun way to play and have a couple of giveaways. And of course, what isn't given away today, my next broadcast, Warsaken Blitz, will be on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. So I'll work that in with the prize wheel for that. So I'm getting that sent over right now. Okay, so congratulations to Ivanov winning that booster pack. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. ZZoller527. Thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. So, have a look here at the screen where Moonbaz Marty, I guess, won 3 in a row because I thought Jishi was up 1-0. But whatever the case, Moonbaz Marty advances to the final. And we saw it before on this other side, this other part of the bracket. David ERS over DKRIN 007 went 5. Best of 5 there in the final for the blue qualifier. Yeah, so Moonbaz has won. Yes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this tournament bracket. Big ups to BluMint. BluMint.com is where this is. I just have it full screen. I assure you it's easier this way. I have to get it to fit on the screen properly. But it's a great way. You get even like the images for everybody. It's cool. You got the icons. It's a really smart idea what they have laid out here with BluMint. I'm really happy that I was invited to be part of this. Excited with Warsaken here with this Blitz tournament. Atomic Hub, Game Fest tomorrow. Going to be part of the Blockchain Brawlers tournament. And then back on Thursday with NashvilleLou Live and Warsaken Blitz. That should be a lot of fun. And hopefully anybody that didn't get to take part today, and I had only so many matches I was going to be able to get in. I wasn't originally sure I was going to do any matches, so kind of impromptu style, and that worked out. So again, David ERS on to the finals, 3-2. We knew that. Moonbaz Marty on to the finals, 3-1 over Jishi. And so I go up here, there's the qualifiers to final. And so when we get a winner here between David ERS and Moonbaz Marty, that's where this information's going to be. And that's going to be the winner here. I mean, if you're the loser, if you're whoever loses this, still going to end up with, what, 500 wax? So that's, if I'm reading this correctly, 1,000 to the winner. So a nice haul there just for making it to the final. But what a route as far as the path these two competitors have had to take. Both earned their spot here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the stream up for now. And then whenever we have a winner here between Moonbaz Marty and David ERS, we'll wrap things up, put a bow on it, and that'll be it for this broadcast. And then we'll get ready for tomorrow again, as I mentioned, the Blockchain Brawlers tournament here on BluMint. And then Thursday, NashvilleLou Live, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have some fun with the prize. I've got these booster packs to give away. I had a lot of luck tonight, so I'm due for some losses. So I think we're going to have some fun with that coming up on Thursday. So I'm going to just bring the music up here and be off headset for a little bit. Use this heating pad on my neck for a bit. And once we get a winner, we'll have that information here, and then we'll wrap things up. But thanks to everybody who's taking the time to watch, play live here tonight. Had a lot of fun with that. So again, take a bit of a break as far as me being off headset, and we'll come back and wrap things up. Once we have a winner here, it's to the finals between David ERS and Moonbaz Marty. Best out of 5. So I'll stay live with that until we know a winner. But for the moment, we'll be off headset, so I'll bring the music up, sound full. Anything urgent breaks. And I'm not sure with Mama Moofin, I'm not sure if she's still in here. I'm looking over on Discord. There's the Rumble channel, but that's like, there's a lot of information in the Rumble channel. So I'm sure you can find your way there on Discord. I'm not going to be the best tour guide for Discord. That, for whatever reason, I just have a tough time with Discord. But it's a fun way for people to be able to communicate. So I'm going to go sound full, like I said. I'm on moving. Okay, great. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was about to happen. I want to be ready to go ahead and tell people to go ahead and, I mean, they can if they want to go over to the Discord channel now. Obviously, feel free on that. But we'll keep the stream going here to find a winner between David ERS and Moonbaz Marty. And so once we have a winner, we'll know and pass that along. And then that'll be it for this broadcast. And then back again with Warsaken Blitz on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So back in just a few minutes with an update here. Yeah, there's a number of things you can do. This whole broadcast has been a lot more extemporaneous than I normally. As much as sometimes you want things to feel, spontaneous and all, but this is This was not what I had in mind because I didn't have anything in mind. And so we made the best of it, had some fun here. Keep an eye on the tournament. Moonbaz Marty was in here earlier, but Moonbaz Marty now having to worry about battling that championship. So back in just a little bit, we know a finish here. Stay tuned. Wait, hang on. I was told to wait. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So you've got playing a 48-hour streamathon from Warsaken has its for its first birthday. Okay, so I thought it was more than a year. So yes, okay, so you're saying you did that. And you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. I'll keep it here for a minute. This is something that I think is worth discussing. It was fascinating to me last Thursday because I went back and I watched all my old even the ones that are 8 hours long. I watched the entire thing back. I always watch my stuff back. If you stop trying to learn and get better as a broadcaster, you're going to find yourself in a bad spot pretty quickly, I've found through the years. Especially with something like this where it's brand new and there's a lot to it. But I bet you that was a lot of fun with people. I think we could do something as far as scheduling somebody playing Warsaken Blitz or live streaming it around the clock. I think there's potential for that. And that's one of those things where I love the idea. I would love to be part of that. But I don't know how many other people would. If there are people that would, I think there will be. As this game grows in popularity, more people learn about it. That's one of the nice things with live streaming. It's a great way. I mean, you can tell what games people really are playing. You can see them playing it live or finding new ways to use games and tournaments and broadcasting, things that just simply weren't possible before, and now finding new ways to leverage it in all sorts of different fun directions. Well, and the nice thing with that, with 48 hours, you would not expect somebody to, but you could, as long as somebody's live, you're going to be able to say, okay, well, I can flip this on, see what they've got going on. And of course, every streamer has their own way of doing things. And some people are going to be, on mic, some won't, etc. That's interesting. So it started at 24 and went to 48. I guess the point I was getting to last Thursday, when I closed the queue, what was it? I don't know if it was 13 deep or 12. At one point it was 13 deep. But it was more than 3 hours from the time I closed the queue to the time I finished against the last opponent. And I don't, especially people that have waited a long time, I don't want to just rush the ending because my neck is hurting or because I'm tired or because I've got something else to do. So I want to respect everyone's time that stuck around and give them the, proper match experience. And luckily these matches go quickly enough where it's not like you're waiting there forever and a day, but some matches go longer than others. And it's a matter of figuring out from a broadcasting standpoint, okay, what makes the most sense. But when you can have people, I think for promoting the game, if nothing else, if we had people at least from time to time, maybe something like that as far as sort of a marathon type streaming, all sorts of possibilities. If I was thinking about that actually, okay, I will keep it here for a minute. Because I was thinking, okay, if I kept my queue open, how long would it take me until I didn't have anybody else to play? I would fall asleep out of exhaustion first. I really think so. Or maybe I get to 4 a.m. Eastern and then it would be finally, but I don't know. Especially now because I love my regulars. If I didn't have my regulars, I wouldn't have a show. I have to have somebody to play against. So I'm very grateful. The community's been so supportive and so helpful. And it's interesting though, those regulars, the numbers are growing. It's not lost on me. And people enjoy watching the game. It allows me to be conversational. I don't play on any sort of a delay. So ultimately though, for me, it's about having fun with the game, showing people how it works. I think half the battle with a lot of these games on wax is people just simply aren't able to learn easily how some of them work because these are brand new games and things are still being developed in many cases. So to me, it's fascinating to see the possibilities and what people are doing with it. Like here with BluMint, with this tournament. Oh yeah, Quadrill's at another level. Okay, that's I watch Quadrill stream. He's playing all these games. I'm just watching it and I can't keep up. I'm like, what? And he's also having conversations and there's a lot of stuff going on. Wow, it's impressive. And hello. Yeah, Quadrill does a great job. Felt bad for Quadrill for this morning. I know he was wanting to broadcast and his voice wasn't cooperating. He wasn't feeling well. But there's so many great people in the Warsaken community, and the game it's easy. It's the kind of game you can watch this game and play it at a casual pace. This is more the golf announcer, baseball maybe. I've never called golf, but you get the idea. It's that kind of a pace, more the conversational. You're not under a tight clock. This game allows for that. So it's interesting. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to keep this up on screen here as far as this tournament finals. Moonbaz Marty against David ERS. It's best 3 out of 5 here in the final. And that's the championship match. So we'll be back with that in just a little bit when we get the outcome. We'll wrap things up with this stream. Get a reminder, tomorrow on BluMint, Blockchain Brawlers. We have 2 tournaments. I'm being the latter tournament. I'll be keeping an eye on the early one, but I'm signed up for the later one. I've agreed to stream with that. And so that should be a lot of fun. And then back with Warsaken Blitz Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to have the prize wheel going. Got these booster packs. Got a bunch more still to give away. And we're going to have some fun with it. So back in just a few minutes before we say goodbye for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. Back in just a few. Stay tuned. Okay, so back to wrap things up here. Congratulations to Moonbaz Marty. Moonbaz Marty victorious over David ERS in the final, winning 3-1 in that best of 5. Moonbaz Marty had a 2-0 lead, and David ERS won the third match. And Moonbaz Marty got the win, 4th and deciding match. So congratulations. Moonbaz Marty beat me last week in the last round before the finals started. Didn't slow things down here in the championship round. Against some tough competition. Able to get the victory. So again, a reminder that my next broadcast will be tomorrow with the BluMint Blockchain Brawlers tournament. Then on Thursday, back with Warsaken Blitz, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And have so much fun. Had fun here playing tonight. I wasn't even sure I was going to play until the broadcast was underway. I didn't want to do anything to undermine or otherwise overshadow the tournament. No worry about that. Able to get some matches in. Gave away a couple of booster packs. Got more packs to give away on Thursday. So we're going to have some fun with that. The prize wheel will be back. Takes a little bit of time to make sure the prize wheel's set up. But as it was today, I had those booster packs. I won more than I expected. The show actually, it suffers if I win too much. Luckily or whatever, or unluckily for me, that normally isn't the case, but that's just what I found to be. Again, the idea with this is to be a fun, definitely a leisurely paced type of broadcast. But for the tournament, a little bit different. And it was fun to see it from Moonbaz Marty's point of view over on his channel. Watched it over there. And I think there's huge potential long-term to do things that are similar to what has already been established with Texas Hold'em Poker, the World Series of Poker on ESPN. Aired on, even if it's on like a half-hour delay. I could put a 15-minute delay. It would probably be enough for a given match if it came to that. But some of that requires some planning and setup ahead of time and such. So there it is. You see it on screen. There's the final. Moonbaz Marty wins 3-1 in that best-of-5 championship final. So congratulations to both. Congratulations, David ERS, for making the finals. For neither an easy route the way it worked out. Both of them had to face a lot of matches to get there, but Moonbaz Marty gets the win. So again, to reiterate tomorrow, I'm not sure with the early Blockchain Brawlers tournament, if I'll do anything with that, we'll see. But for the late tournament, I'm going to be live streaming that, and that's going to be fun here with BluMint tomorrow. I really appreciate what BluMint has done this week with Atomic Hubs, Game Fest, here today with Warsaken Blitz. I think the more that Wax games can be spotlighted in this sort of a format where the whole world can look and see it and see how much fun we're having with this tournament, the better. So I think a major positive on that. Looking forward to tomorrow, seeing how it goes with the Brawlers tournament, and then back with NashvilleLou Live, playing Warsaken Blitz this Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Again, last Thursday, I closed the queue and it took more than 3 hours to get through it. So I'll definitely plan on a lot of matches coming up on Thursday with that. So it should be a lot of fun. So that's going to do it for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.